Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss free crash course lecture number 5. So, prelims point of view, very meticulously I selected some topics and I am discussing from the last 1 week. So, this is the lecture number 5 in which what is there in the news, with that how we can expect the question that we are going to discuss. So, for free prelims crash course for 2020, please subscribe to our channel. So first topic today is universal basic income. Universal basic income, popularly called as UBI. So this universal basic income is giving all the sections of the people without any discrimination or without any selection. We will be giving universal basic income. Some amount we will be transferring into their bank accounts. Each and every individual will be getting their due share from the country's income. That is called as universal basic income. So recently what happened? UNHCR, UN Human Rights Council, United Nations Human Rights Council, UNHRC asked NHRC, in this COVID times, you can provide universal basic income to all the people. UNHRC asked the NHRC, then NHRC told to the UNHRC that yes, we also recommended the same to the government and now it is in the hands of the government. Government is looking into universal basic income. So why it's needed now? In order to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, International Monetary Fund held the current economic crisis would be the worst ever since the Great Depression which happened in 1929. 90% of India's workforce in the informal sector, a universal basic income can ensure the sustenance of the workers. So because of this universal basic income, the sustainability of the workers will be ensured. So as on the report of the IMF that this particular economic crisis is going to become bigger than the Greater Depression of 1929, there is a need to take some measures for the sake of protection of the worker community. So the best solution will be the universal basic income in this COVID times. So what is universal basic income? Providing all citizens of the country will be given a sum of money regardless of their income, resources or employment status. Essential principle is all citizens are entitled to a livable income irrespective of the circumstances they are born. They might be rich, they might be poor, they are upper caste, lower caste, high class, low class. There will not be any selection, there will not be any discrimination, but there will be equal amount will be given to all the citizens of the country. That is called as universal basic income. Rahul Gandhi in 2014 election also he told that if the population of India is going to vote for Congress government, UPA government, then they are going to implement the universal basic income. Apart from that, Economic Survey of India, Ministry of Finance also recommended for universal basic income. These all things we will be discussing now. So what is this universal basic income components are? Universality. It will be universality. There will not be any discrimination. There will not be any selection. Everyone will be getting the universal income. Number 2, unconditionality. There won't be any condition like SC, ST, weaker section or minority, etc. All the sections of the people will be getting the equal amount. Number 3, periodic. The payments will be provided in a periodic in regular intervals, like monthly payments will be provided. Payment in cash. No food vouchers or service coupons, but directly money will be provided in the form of fund transfer, in the form of cash transfers. So these are the components which are present in universal basic income, which is important for your prelims point of view. Universality, unconditionality, periodic and payments in cash. Next, benefits. What will be the benefits? Secured income we will be getting. So that we will be not having any sort of depression, we will not be having any sort of tension. So secured income will be guaranteed by this universal basic income. Next, it will reduce the poverty as well as income inequality. Why? Because everyone is getting income. Everyone is having resources. So there won't be any poverty, there won't be any inequalities. Increase the purchasing power parity of the individual. Everyone will be having the income, so they can get essential commodities. So purchasing power parity of the individual also increases because of universal basic income. Increase aggregate demand. The demand will increase. People are buying. So demand is there. When demand is there, the demand for the production will be there. When the demand for production will be there, the people will be producing more. So when the people is producing more and the demand is there and the people are buying, so the economy will be running. So the cycle of the economy, the engine of the economy will be running with this universal basic income, which is the benefit. Easy to implement as beneficiary identification is easy. Why? Because it's universal. Everyone will be getting. There won't be any selection, there won't be any discrimination, so it's very easy to implement. Reduces the wastage of government money. There won't be any wastage of government money. There won't be any wastage of government. Properly we can use, so that we will be having the clarity. Yes, every section, everyone is getting the money. So how they are getting, how they are using. So the money will not be wasted. Why? Because money is also funded in the form of bank transfer. Money transfer through banking transactions. So there won't be any pilferage, there won't be any duplication. Challenges. What is challenges in India basically? High cost. Why? Because India's population is somewhere around 1.3 billion population is there. High cost. We want huge money. Number two, lack political will. Government, the politics are lacking the political will because they are worried about high cost. Might reduce the motivation for work, but biggest disadvantage is it will make the people lazy. It will make the people demotivated. They won't have any motivation for work. So I made into mains perspective, what is the pros for universal basic income? What is the cons for universal basic income? Pros. Simple and efficient to administer. Why? Because universal. Avoids poverty trap. There won't be any poverty trap. Reduces poverty inequality, income inequality. Pros. Encourages socially beneficial tasks such as old age people will also be getting the funds, so that everyone will be having their own resources. Encourages individual to take risk and set up business. So with that money also they can put up their own investments. They can work for their own. So they can go for some business opportunities with the income which they are accruing. Whereas cons, it will make the people lazy. Anyhow the government is giving the money. Anyhow the government is giving the money. Why I have to work? So it will make the people lazy. It will demotivate the people to take the challenges, to take the risk, or to take the jobs and works. Could discourage part-time work. People will not do part-time work now. Why? Because anyhow the government is giving, so there won't be any part-time work. If they work also, they will go for only full-time work. Number three, cost higher than current benefit system, leading to higher taxes. So people will be buying. So the government want resources to pump the universal income. So when the government want to pump the money in the form of universality, they should have the resources. When they want the resources, the only form of resource is taxation. So taxation will increase. So eventually with the universal basic income, the taxation also increases. The tax also increases. Higher income taxes would lead to disincentive to work. People will not feel any incentive. The people will feel disincentive. Okay, why I should do work? Anyhow the government is giving. So there won't be any disincentive. There won't be any motivation. There won't be any encouragement to work. That is one of the biggest disadvantages with this universal basic income. Could lead to welfare support for undesirable like criminals. Everyone is getting. So criminals will get, well-off people will get, socially high people will get, economically high people will get. Everyone will be getting the money. So what will happen? The money is going for not for the targeted population. That is one of the cons. So idea, who supported this? Economic Survey 2016-17 supported this. Nobel laureate Peter Diamond and Christopher Pesaridis also supported this idea. Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk also supported this idea. So this is about the prelims perspective and mains perspective, universal basic income. If you this arrange properly in your answer, you will get maximum marks. This is about universal basic income. Nepal's new map, which became controversy in the times of COVID, the Nepal is busy in making their new map. The India is busy in how to resist the COVID, and Nepal is busy in making their own maps according to their wish. So there was a constitutional amendment happened to the Nepal, whereby they redrawn the new map. Whereby they took the territories of India. Like Kalapani and then near the rivers that I will be discussing now. Nepal's parliament on Saturday unanimously voted to amend constitution to update the country's new political map. Kathmandu's understanding what they believe, Nepal claims the land to the river Kali, which forms the country's western border. India opposes the notion. So they tell that this Kali river and the east of the Kali river belongs to Nepal. But India claims from historically that this particular territory belongs to India. So prelims point of view, what you have to understand? See, earlier the map was it was a cut like this. Now they extended. Now they extended it, and they are claiming that this is also part of the Nepal. Prelims point of view, with which country recently we had a political map controversial issue? China, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So everyone will thinking that it might be China, it might be Pakistan, it might be Bangladesh, but no. The answer is Nepal. On Saturday, Nepal's parliament unanimously approved a new map which shows places such as Limpai Dhura, Kalapani and Lepu Lake, including the strategically important Lepu Lake Pass, which are in Uttarakhand's Pithoragarh district as part of that territory. So some parts of Uttarakhand they added into their map, like Lepu Lake Pass, which is very very important, which we will be studying in our geography. That also they added in their political map. So this is about. So up to here it was earlier Nepal's. Now they claim up to this particular region. This is about the contention issue. This is about the people tell that the Nepal did that much big step with the support of China. So the new country which made a map, a political map which is controversial with India's territory is Nepal. Jal Jeevan Mission. The third is government scheme Jal Jeevan Mission, providing tapped drinking water facility to all the rural households by 2024. Why 2024 means election year. Mission envisages providing piped drinking water to all the rural households by 2024. All the rural households across the country will be provided by this tapped drinking water. This is one of the scheme which is copied from Telangana state Mission Bhagiratha. Prelims we can expect such questions from where they adopted this scheme. From the Mission Bhagiratha of Telangana state, this Jal Jeevan Mission has been brought. Progress. Out of 19.04 crore rural households in the country, 3.23 crore households had tap connections and 15.81 crore households had to be provided functional tap connections. Means it should be functional. Jal Jeevan Mission. Nodal agency is Jal Shakti Ministry, also for implementation. Who is going to implement this? Jal Shakti Ministry, new ministry which is formed in the year 2019. As the ministry allowed all the returning labor, especially from the construction sector, to be employed in their respective villages. Now, because of the COVID times, whoever the migrant workers coming from the construction sector, they should be employed into this particular Jal Jeevan Mission, and they have to get their wages. They have to get the wages under Jal Jeevan Mission till they construct this pipe drinking water. So, COVID times important. This migrant construction workers, they will take a job in their own village. In which scheme? In Jal Jeevan Mission scheme. Piped water supply to all rural households by 2024. Prelims point of view, integrated demand and supply side management of water at the local level. Will converge other central and state government schemes, synchronization of the schemes, creation of local infrastructure for rainwater harvesting, groundwater recharge and management of households. So not only providing drinking water but also water harvesting, rainwater harvesting, but also underground recharge so that the water table will increase underground. That is water. That Jal Jeevan. So not only piped drinking water, it also deals about infrastructure for rainwater harvesting as well as increasing the groundwater table, increasing the groundwater recharge. Jal Jeevan Mission. Next, NIRF, National Institutional Ranking Framework, started in 2015, whereby the National Institutional Ranking Framework will be giving the ranks for the higher educational institutions who are performing excellence in academic research and development. Used for ranking institutions of higher education. Parameters: teaching, learning and resources, research and professional practices, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity, peer perceptions. These are the parameters used. These are the parameters used for NIRF. So, prelims point of view important. What are the parameters used for ranking? Teaching, learning and resources, research and professional practices, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity, peer perception. Most parameters are objective and fact based. Why it is used? Generates healthy competition between the institutes, attract foreign students to study here, gives a solid base for study in India, program the growth of higher education in India. So it motivates the foreign students. We are also high. excellence in higher education, motivate the foreign students to come into India, and it creates a healthy competition among the higher educational institutions so that they will be competing internally for the sake of excellence, which is very important. So this NIRF will be helping for that purpose. National Institutional Ranking Framework, under which ministry? Ministry of Women Resource Development. Under Ministry of Women Resource Development, this NIRF ranking will be provided. This year, dental category has been introduced for the first time, making it a total of 10 categories. So dental colleges also ranked for 2020 prelims perspective. Which category is added? Newly, dental category is also added for the first time. Indian institutions' performance in international ranking weak on internationalization parameter. So the international level, our higher educational institutions are underperforming. So first we are providing the competition within our higher educational institutions in India so that they can compete with international institutions. That is a major motto of our NIRF. So NIRF India Ranking 2020 overall, IIT Madras, IIC Bangalore, Indian Institute of Sciences Bangalore, IIT Delhi, overall category. Next, university category, engineering category, management category, pharmacy discipline, colleges category, medical discipline, law discipline, architecture discipline, and now what? Dental discipline. How many are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what is recently added? Dental category has been recently added. Prelims point of view, important. NIRF. Thank you, my dear friends. Again tomorrow I will come with lecture number 6, prelims point of view. Share the video, like the video, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.